Hi, good to meet you.
Good.
I just want to understand what brings you from Europe to India.
A couple of our top customers here in India that I am visiting. I'm the CEO for NETVIBES brand, so I run, all of our generative experiences, AI, data science, and this is widely adopted here in India.
How the AI data center is moving and what is the adoption rate in India or South Asia market?
I would say Indian market is very addictive. Maybe addictive is not savvy towards data science by itself. Probably more than many other countries. The adoption rate is very high in reality. But maybe I can give you a few comments. There is something specific on the way we look at AI ourselves. Because there are many AI players in the industry. But at Dassault Systèmes we don't call it AI. We call it generative experience.
Artificial intelligence.
Generative experiences. This is the word we use. And the reason why we use this word is because, the way we look at it is different from pure AI. We believe in the combination of science and data science. We believe in the combination of the world of representation, the laws of physics, and the world of observation. What do I do with the text, the images, the videos, the 3D, that we can look at the world. Typical AI players, they mostly look at the world of observation. What can we do with photos and 3Ds and images? The reason why we use both is because we think that the world of representation is providing an incredible lever for three areas. One is it provides the projection system. So how do we interpret all of these data that are coming from the field? Quality data, cost data, corrosion data, you name it. We project it on the virtual twin of the product itself. And by doing that, we are building the right normalization way of interpreting the data for AI. Two is you're very sensitive to AI yourself, and I think, and your publication does too. You probably know then that the biggest problem with AI is to actually have access to data. People in California, they now start to fear the lack of data because the web is shrinking. Because people now realize that their data has value, so they can't use it anymore for free. But with the virtual world, we can generate what we call synthetic data. So we can learn, do AI on products that don't even exist yet. Because we can generate physically realistic data on products or on usage conditions that are not even existing yet. We call that synthetic data. But physically realistic synthetic data. So to do that, you need to understand the laws of physics, which we do by nature at Dassault Systèmes. And third, with the world of modeling and simulation, we can do what-if scenario. So in other words, if you do predictive maintenance as an example, the next question is, how do I solve the problem? But if you have modeling and simulation, you can actually do what-if scenario. What's the impact if I change the design? What's the impact if I change the material? What's the impact? And you can simulate that impact. So this is what we call what we do, not AI, but generative experiences.
So when you said about the synthetic data, okay? So you generate the synthetic data from the simulation. What is the accuracy rate when you will have a apple-to-apple comparison with the simulation data? We are producing it with the synthetic data. What is the accuracy level?
So we are extremely well known through our Simulia brand for the actual precision of our simulation data. And the reason why, again, is because, we have built in, since many, many years, all of these laws of physics as part of our simulation models.
So, again, let's talk about the synthetic data. When you talk about synthetic data, so your data, AI, what you say, you just to get simulate with the other organizations where you are going to place this data. Right? Your Dassault system data is at your place. You have to give, suppose there is a airlines. He has to use your data. On that case, your data has to sync. Are you bringing the agentic AI also to simulate and work cohesively?
So to answer to your question, I'd like to do a few sides.
Sync.
The comment is very clear. Your question is very clear. So, first of all, there is one thing that is important to every single of our customers. One, which is the IP protection of their own data.
Yes.
And I'd like to start by that, especially because we go on SaaS.
And SaaS?
Most of what we do is SaaS.
Okay.
So the first question of every single customer is how do we protect their IP? How do we make sure that what is going to be learned from their own product, even their virtual product, their virtual aircraft, is going to remain their own intellectual property and not be shared with everyone. So that is our number one priority. Is even so what we do is on SaaS, is to make sure that we are empowering our customer with the ability to protect their IP in AI processes. When we talk about synthetic data, most of the synthetic data might be generated on the virtual product of our customers. So somehow you're going to simulate our customer's aircraft, and you're going to generate synthetic data on our customer's aircraft. So the simulation model is the Dassault Systèmes model, but the synthetic data are the results of the virtual product of our customers with our simulation systems. That is IP. The result is the IP of our customers. And so this synchronization, as you say, is actually happening within our customers' environment, on our SaaS, under the IP of our customers, protected for our customers, and its default configuration.
Wonderful. So this technical discussion can go much longer. So I will very focus to the discussion. So do you think the SaaS module is good or the on-prem module will be good? Because as a global company, you have to apply the data privacy is concerned. So do you think SaaS module is good or on-prem module, like their data will be on their premise? That will be good. What is your suggestion?
For me, as long as we can provide what we call sovereign SaaS,
sovereign SaaS.
SaaS, it's not only good, it's indispensable.
Okay.
The reason why is because you need, in the world we live in now, our customers need extreme flexibility, agility, and speed. You don't get that on-premise. Because when you go on-premise, whenever you want to do an upgrade, it's potentially a lengthy process. When you go on-premise, if you want to start running massive AI models, which requires massive computation, you need to source the hardware before you actually do it. When you're on SaaS, it's elastic by nature. So the level of throughput, elasticity, performance, agility, always up-to-date system that you get on SaaS, you don't get it on-premise. So for the companies that want speed, that want agility, that want security, that want sovereignty, SaaS is definitely a better bet.
Ultimate solution.
Yeah.
So which
does not prevent, and by the way, we are even doing now for some customers, we do what we call hybrid, which is kind of interesting, whereby they still have part of our software on-premise or on the edges in the factories, and we do have the SaaS environment for scalability and elasticity purpose. So we can have coexistence between SaaS to deliver elasticity, sovereignty, agility, while coexisting with anything that they may have on-premise, whether Dassault Systèmes or others.
Great. So what are the industry segments you are targeting or you are focusing in India where Dassault Systèmes can bring the edge?
Oh, sure. So we have declared that we are addressing three sectors of the economy. Manufacturing, across, the typical industries like aerospace and defense, transportation and mobility, high-tech, industrial equipments. The infrastructure sector, oil and gas, nuclear, large, public infrastructures, and of course, life science and healthcare. We are definitely developing, these three areas, in India. If you take manufacturing, we have large customers such as Mahindra, which is very communicating a lot about what we do with them. If you go into infrastructure, you can look at what we do for L&T, hydrocarbon, which is, I would say, very interesting. Changing the way we are managing large-scale, billion-dollar scale programs.
If you can give some example of the use case, what you have recently told Mahindra and L&T, you can name. Can you give some use cases? What the problem were there? What the problem statement? How Dassault have solved the problem.
Sure.
Can you name something?
So I can give you two. Maybe I can give you two of the problems we are solving for many of our customers in the world as we speak. The number one problem is, can we compress time?
Okay.
Most of the industries, infrastructure players, they want to deliver a nuclear power plant quicker. They want to L&T, they want to deliver an offshore plant quicker. But of course, without doing any compromise. No compromise on safety, no compromise on quality, no compromise on cost. That's a program management practice. And we are using virtual twin experience as a way to synchronize all of the program data, cost data, supply chain data, construction data, manufacturing data, engineering data, to enhance the overall efficiency of how our customers are delivering their programs. So compressing time is number one. In automotive industry, if you take automotive as an example, there is massive pressure coming from China. And this pressure is leading to requirements to deliver car program much quicker. And we're not talking about delivering 10% or 20% enhancement. They're looking for a multiplier effect. And generative experiences and 3D universes, which we introduced at the beginning of the year, is definitely the lever to delivering this game-changing dynamic on how quickly our customers are delivering their programs. So that's one example. The second example I can take is on the supply chain side. So at the beginning of the year, we introduced Gen 7 and we introduced 3D universes. 3D universes is the fact that we are combining multiple virtual twins together. I'm sorry, I'm going. But that's going to give the answer to your question.
No, I know.
If you take supply chain, we call it value network, by the way, but let's call it supply chain.
Very important.
If you want to understand the impact of anomaly in the supply chain, raw material cost, rare material shortages, component shortages, tariffs, you need multiple virtual twin. You need the virtual twin of the product because you need to know everything that comes into the product. You need the virtual twin of the production system. Where do you manufacture that product? You need the virtual twin of the supply chain. What is it that you buy? From which supplier that is assembled in which plant for which product? Correct. So you need these multiple products. We call that 3D universes. And we are currently doing that for supply chain volatility intelligence, which means that whenever there is an anomaly, a shortage or tariffs, we can do immediate analysis of the impact of that shortage at every scale. So within the next second, we can tell you when there is a tariff. At the budget scale, this is going to be $1 billion problem. At the product scale, this is going to be a few thousand euros, which the consumer may have to pay at the end of the day. At the production scale, this is so many hundreds of millions that are going to be impacted. At the supplier scale or at the part scale, this is the impact so that we can help people drive negotiations and find mitigation plan. So we can do multi-scale supply chain volatility analysis because we can indeed combine this multiple virtual twin production system value network into what we call a universe that we can actually play with.
How you're addressing to the digital twin?
So we don't call what we do digital twin, we call it virtual twin. And the reason why we call it virtual twin and not digital twin is somehow digital twin it can be 3D, but it's just a flat 3D representation of data coming from the real world. But we call it virtual twin because we are adding two things. One is we are adding modeling and simulation. So it's a virtual twin because we can play with it. We can change the design, we can change material, we can change our configuration, and we can see the impact because it's a model. It's not just a representation.
True.
It's a model that comes along with all of the scientific. It's this scientifically grounded with all of the laws of physics, if you want. Two, we are bringing into the virtual twin the people and the processes. Because it's one thing to have a model. It's better if it's a simulable model that you can play with. It's great to have all of the data projected on that model. But it's actually better if you can put the human people into the experience so that you can start orchestrate the way people work together to solve problems, find ideas in the right manner. And virtual twin is really about having model, data, and people together in an experience.
I see that you have a wonderful experience scientifically, mathematical computing and physical computing. You have a good awesome experience. So how you see the India market for Dassault,
The
for the growth?
India market is a very intensive market for us. And one of the reasons why it's a very intensive market is Indian industrial players are very savvy in adopting technologies, in driving change, in driving innovation, and they're doing with extreme pace. So somehow we are seeing in India accelerated development into some of these generative experiences that are very aggressive compared to what we see in many other countries.
Wonderful. If you can give me a global perspective, how Dassault has positioned today at the global level?
Oh, it's very simple. I would say we have decided that we are going to become leaders in three sectors of the industries: manufacturing, infrastructure, and life science. Definitely in the manufacturing sector, we are already a market leader in most of the industries. I think I would not be mistaken if I would say that about everything that is flying has somehow been designed with Dassault Systèmes. Most of the electrical vehicles in the world have been designed with Dassault Systèmes. Tens of thousands of luxury brands are building their product with Dassault Systèmes. So we are definitely a market leader in manufacturing. In life science, over 50% of the clinical trial are already made with Dassault Systèmes. And in infrastructure, this is a place for growth for us. We are already big in oil and gas, in nuclear, and growing.
Mm-hmm. So, which is the biggest market for Dassault in the world?
You mean in terms of geography or in terms of industry?
Geography.
I would say North America, but I'm not. I would say Europe and North America are probably some of the largest.
Hub of the automotive.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any specific thing you want to communicate to the Indian partner ecosystem? We're a partner magazine. Okay. Anything you want to communicate to the Indian VARs, value-added resellers?
Sure. One, it's called SaaS. The reason why I would like to insist on SaaS, it's probably the largest opportunity for VARs and resellers because it's providing access to technologies that is now low code, no code, very easy to configure online, very easy to make available even to small companies, while in the past, doing the same with on-premise would have required extreme skills. So SaaS is unlocking technology power for partners and their customers that would have been hardly available through an on-premise approach.
Another simple question. Why Dassault has acquired a company? What Dassault has got the edge?
Of the acquisition of Exalead back in 2010, and then we acquired NETVIBES, and then we acquired Proxem, more recently. The Proxem acquisition, by the way, was quite interesting because if you remember well, we acquired Proxem just before ChatGPT.
Oh.
And Proxem is actually generative AI using same type of technology, transformers technology, to build ontology. And you know what? Ontology is very essential to generative experiences and AI because ontology is what is grounding the projection of our customers' data. Mm-hmm. And with Proxem, we actually have the ability to generate the ontologies that represent the language of each and every of our customers. And that's a very big differentiator as soon as we start using large language model as an example for all of what we call virtual companions. So I was part of the Exalead acquisition. So I've been tracking the entire journey, since the Exalead acquisition, 2010. And I would say the one thing to remember is now this entire technology stack are the core of the 3D experience platform itself. So the 3D experience is heavily relying on ultra scalable, highly agile data infrastructure supporting, machine learning, AI, powering virtual companions for each and every of our users.
Wonderful. So good. If you can say in one sentence, why Dassault?
It's a good question because of virtual twin experience. Because there is no way with the explosion of the complexity of the problem that our customers have to face, that they can face it without having the highest abstraction and representation of the complexity of what they have to manage. Dassault Systèmes is probably in the world, in my opinion, the only single company that have made so much effort in abstracting and representing complexity. And when we introduce universes, not only we abstract and represent the complexity of an aircraft, of a spaceship, of a car, but we abstract the complexity of the plant, we abstract the complexity of the supply chain, we abstract the complexity of the company itself, and through the 3D universes, we are capable of enabling our customers to navigate into this complexity. And when these customers are willing to face, the upcoming challenges, the competition of China, the supply chain volatility with tariffs, the new technology breakthroughs that are coming here and there, they need to have this level of abstraction to understand the past and navigate the future.
If I can summarize in one sentence, Dassault solving the complexity in the automobile, aerospace, and high-tech engineering things.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in one sentence I can place?
Yeah, you can say it, and you can add it on top of the complexity. We enable to understand the past and navigate the future.
Wonderful.
And that's interesting because understand the past means we're transforming everything that happened into new knowledge and new know-how that will empower every worker. And navigate the future is because with large language models, virtual companions, AIs, and modeling and simulation, we can help define, design, imagine, the future solutions of our customers.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.